everyone. Once again we are back with another session of embryology, and in our series of development of the veins of the body, in this session we'll be focusing on the veins of the upper part of the body like the superior vena cava, the brachiocephalic veins, the subclavian veins and the internal jugular veins. Also we'll talk about the external jugular vein. Now before watching this video, I would also request you to also watch the video on the development of inferior vena cava and other veins which are coming from the posterior cardinal system, so that you are able to connect. So let us start with the veins of the upper part of the body. See, the inferior vena cava and other veins we had seen from the posterior cardinal veins. They develop from the posterior cardinal veins. Now we are focusing on the region of the anterior cardinal veins which are draining the cranial part of the body. And as we know, the two anterior cardinal and posterior cardinal unite to form the right common cardinal and the left common cardinal veins. Each of them, the right common cardinal will drain into the right horn of the sinus venosus and the left common cardinal will drain into the left horn of the sinus venosus. Now let us focus on the anterior cardinal veins. Now two things happen into the anterior cardinal veins. Number one, we know that there is a developing limb bud nearby. One of the intersegmental veins from the developing limb bud will enlarge to form a vein known as subclavian vein, and this subclavian vein will join into the anterior cardinal vein. So we can see that it is an extra vein which has come and it has joined the anterior cardinal vein on each side. This happens on both the sides, and this will be forming the subclavian vein. So how does the subclavian vein develop? It is nothing but one of the intersegmental veins from the developing limb buds. Now another thing that will happen in the anterior cardinal veins is there will be a development of an oblique anastomosis between the two anterior cardinal veins of the left side and the right side. They will get connected by an oblique anastomosis. So these two things are occurring in the two anterior cardinal veins. First, the joining of the subclavian vein, and second, the development of the oblique anastomosis. Now let us derive the veins of the upper part of the body from this entire area. Now let us start from above. The part of the anterior cardinal veins, both the sides, which lie cranial to the attachment of subclavian veins, they will form internal jugular veins on both the sides, the left and the right side. Now, what will happen to this part of the right side? The right anterior cardinal vein, between the attachment of subclavian vein and the oblique anastomosis, this area will develop into the right brachiocephalic vein. Between the two, attachment of the subclavian vein and the oblique anastomosis, this will develop into the right brachiocephalic vein. Now what about the left brachiocephalic vein? Right has only one derivation, but the left one develops from two sources. What are these two sources? The oblique anastomosis itself, the entire oblique anastomosis, plus the part of the left anterior cardinal vein between the attachment of the anastomosis and the subclavian vein. This part of the left anterior cardinal vein will also be included in the development of the left brachiocephalic vein. That is why it is longer. So right, if we sum up again, so we can see here this will form the left brachiocephalic vein. If we sum up again, the right brachiocephalic vein forms from the right anterior cardinal vein lying between the attachment of the subclavian vein and the oblique anastomosis, and the left brachiocephalic vein develops from two sources, the entire oblique anastomosis itself and also the part of the left anterior cardinal vein between the anastomosis and the attachment of subclavian vein. So this is how the two brachiocephalic veins they develop. Now what about this remaining area? This remaining area on the right side. See what happens after some time, there is a shunting of blood from the left to the right side. So left side structures mostly regress and the larger part of the blood has to be shunted to the right side. So in this event, what will happen? The left anterior cardinal vein as well as the left posterior cardinal vein, these two areas will largely regress. But small remnants of these regressed areas, Small remnants of the left anterior cardinal vein plus the left posterior cardinal vein, they will develop into the left superior intercostal vein. They will develop into the left superior. This is the left superior intercostal vein. So this is formed by remnants of the left anterior cardinal vein and the cranial part of the left posterior cardinal vein. Now let us have a focus on this area. What will happen to this area? We know that this right posterior cardinal vein cranial part will regress. See, it has regressed here. It will not remain because lower to this area the inferior vena cava is developing. So this area will regress. From this area as well as this area will develop the superior vena cava. So that is why I have written part 1 and part 2. Developmentally we can say that the superior vena cava develops in two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is coming from the right anterior cardinal vein. It is coming from the right anterior cardinal vein lying caudal to this oblique anastomosis. Caudal to the oblique anastomosis. So we can say this dotted part, the one which is caudal to the oblique anastomosis, this will form first part of the superior vena cava, and the second part of the superior vena cava will be formed from right common cardinal vein. So these are the two parts of the superior vena cava, and here we can see that this is the superior vena cava which has formed. This part has regressed. So this is how the superior vena cava will finally form. Now initially we know that the right common cardinal vein opens into the right horn of the sinus venosus. So the superior vena cava will also open into the right horn of the sinus venosus. But later on the right horn of the sinus venosus will be regressed into the right atrium. So superior vena cava will directly open into the right atrium. So now we know the two sources of development of the superior vena cava. Now coming to this portion, the left common cardinal vein. What will be the fate of the left common cardinal vein? See, the left common cardinal vein will divide into two parts, a lateral part and a medial part. Lateral part and a medial part. And before going to that, let us also understand what will be the fate of left horn of sinus venosus. We know that the left horn of the sinus venosus, it regresses and it forms the coronary sinus. It forms the coronary sinus. And the right horn will get absorbed into the developing right atrium. So finally we can see here that this is the developed right atrium. And the left horn of the sinus venosus has regressed and the remnant is the coronary sinus. Now talking about the left common cardinal vein has a lateral part and a medial part. This lateral part will form the oblique vein of the left atrium, whereas the medial part will contribute to the development of the coronary sinus. So from this figure we can say that this left horn will entirely develop into the coronary sinus. Left common cardinal vein, this lateral part, the lateral part will develop into the oblique vein of left atrium, and the medial part will contribute to the formation of the coronary sinus. So this is all that is happening in the upper part of the body. So here in this figure we can see finally what veins are developing. So the internal jugular vein in the right subclavian, and this is the right brachiocephalic. This is the left brachiocephalic, left subclavian and the left internal jugular. This, as I told you, is the superior intercostal vein, and these are the part 1 and the part 2 of the superior vena cava. Right atrium has formed and the coronary sinus remains. Now where do the external jugular veins come from? They develop as extra veins. They are not connected with the system, that they external jugular veins will develop as a separate sprout in this region. So this is all about the development of veins in the upper part of the body. Thank you very much.